Hello and welcome to the SEO plus AI show. My name is Josh Bashinsky. I'm joined today by my awesome co-host, George Johnson. Say hi there, George.
Hello.
If you've never seen the SEO plus AI show before, we are the finest place on the YouTubes to get information about SEO and AI. Today we're doing the show, big news in the AI world. Google is doing their I.O. Presentation as I do this live today right now. But also OpenAI did their big release yesterday with GPT-4 Omni, GPT4-O, which is a new improved model. And so what does that do for SEO? Does GPT-4 Omni change SEO at all? We're going to take a look to see what happened yesterday, and we're going to give you all the news and the facts. We're giving you all the news and the facts of what GPT-4 Omni is going to do for SEO. If you've never watched the show before, as I said, we are at an intersection of SEO and AI. I don't know any other industry other than SEO that has been taken over by AI quite as much. We do it for the writing, we do it for the analysis, we do it for generating web pages, we do it for everything. So if you're not using AI in your SEO workflows, you really should take a look at it because we have some very good SEO tools that are using AI to build things in a very remarkable way that people have never done before. We can reduce your costs by 99.2% and your time by 99.5% for your own page. What are you waiting for? Why would you possibly wait to jump on that train or try it out? If you want more information about that, go into my description and you will see a 10% coupon code for trying out SEO Copilot, which is the SEO AI software that we're talking about. We do the shows live at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays, and we release it a produced version 10 a.m. on Fridays. You're welcome to watch either. If you're watching live, make sure you click the bell and smack the monkey and punch the goat and the gonads and whatever else you need to do down there. Whatever little things you need to do, all the hoops that make you jump through to get notified when we've gone live. And ask me any questions live that you want, SEO questions. I'd be happy to answer them. George and I are happy to answer them. George will handle more of the local side. I'll handle more of the global side. But we are both robust, seasoned, dare I say, well, I'm going to say old for me because you can see gray in my beard. I don't see any gray in George's beard, so George is still...
Got a couple. Just a few.
They're hidden.
There's like going to appear somewhere.
They're hidden very well, my friend. You can ask us any questions. We've been in SEO for a very, very long time. We'd love to help you out and answer any questions that we can. So let's get to it. So GPT-4-O, GPT-4 Omni, is the latest version from OpenAI. And so I'm going to let GPT-4 take it over. This is the thing about AI, is that it starts to think and do things for you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen. And here it is. Here's what it looks like, GPT-4 Omni. It's the new latest thingamajigger. And here it is, GPT-4-O. And I have the memory off. So memory is a thing where it remembers your personality and things you like. I like to turn that off so I get a more honest conversation with it. And I've asked it, search for the new GPT-4-O Omni. What benefits will it have for people doing SEO and content generation, making HTML pages or spreadsheets with SEO data, and using it to analyze SEO tactics and competitors? Let's see what GPT-4 Omni says about what it can do to help you. And I will take a sip of mocha. Oh, our systems have detected unusual activity from your device.
Like, we don't like people who drink coffee.
Yeah, apparently not. Okay, so I'll copy that. I'll hit refresh on this. That's weird. So first for the test, not doing too well. Not going so good. Let's try that again and see. It searched the web. Boom, it's done already. It searched 6 sites, including Search Engine Land. And it says the new GPT-4-O Omni is a multimodal version of OpenAI's language model. Integrates multiple tools, including advanced data analysis, DALL-E 3 for image generation, and built-in browsing capabilities, which can significantly enhance SEO and content generation tasks. Well, okay, fascinating. That's a bold claim. Let's see if it can back that up. Here's how it can benefit various aspects of SEO and content creation. SEO content generation, keyword research analysis. GPT-4-O Omni can generate a list of related keywords to your target keywords, helping you expand your keyword strategy. For instance, you can ask it to suggest related keywords for a specific topic, and it can provide insights into variations and related terms. That was from Neil Patel blog, which makes sense because it was a terrible, terrible piece of advice. So I apologize. We started the slagging off of other SEOs early on the show, but that was a terrible, terrible piece of advice, which we're going to get into later. You do not want to just go to ChatGPT and ask it, what are my keywords? That will not help you rank, I assure you. I'll prove it to you in a couple seconds. What we're going to do is we're going to get it to do a test of some SEO tasks and content and see how well it stacks up. So we'll get to that in a second. But what else did it read for this? It also got this on bluehost.com, some blog for SEO. I don't know why it chose this. Why did it choose this? It shows this for some reason. I've never heard of these people, but they're talking about how to use ChatGPT for SEO. Again, terrible, terrible advice, but written last year in 2023. So definitely not updated content either. And that's another thing that's interesting is that, okay, well, it didn't decide to use the current information the way that our system does. So again, not the greatest thing here showing what GPT-4 Omni can do, but it did it really fast. I'll say that. I'll give that for GPT Omni. It gave this answer really quickly, way faster than GPT-4 used to.
Did it just do like a human would just do a quick search and found the number 1, 2 on the SERP and you just got the answer regardless of what date it is?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like when I searched 6 sites, it binged new GPT-4 Omni benefits for SEO content generation, HTML pages, spreadsheets, SEO data analysis. So it got
that's right. It's not going to use Google. It's going to use Bing.
Yeah.
It's Microsoft.
Boom. Yeah. So this is the search it did here in Bing. And wow, does Bing ever look like Google? How can you tell the difference here? Wow. Okay. And so where was that one site it said it used here? It said for this second answer, it was Bluehost. So let's find Bluehost here. Blue. I don't see it. It's not here.
Interesting.
So it found that somewhere else. I don't know where it found that.
Not on the first page, at least.
No, not on the first page. So it found Bluehost here for something. It said it did this search, but then this doesn't show up. So there's some kind of weird... Oh, wait a minute. This is very weird. Because the whole idea of this kind of search that they've been promising for SGE, for generated content, mostly from Google, but not really so much from OpenAI, so I guess it's true to form, that basically, don't worry, if you're ranking on the first page of the search engine, it's going to use your content as grist for the answer, and there'll be links that people can click through to find more information about you. Now, we know that the generative search experience from Google I/O, we just heard right off the presses, is going to be rolled out to more users, and so more users are going to be seeing this, AI categorizing the information, AI cataloging the information, AI, dare I say, pilfering your information, just straight up stealing your information and putting it on Google's front page. But here we have an example of how that's going to look. And we don't know where they found this Bluehost because it's not from this search as far as we can tell.
It's not on the, it could be, second, third page, but it's definitely not first page.
Let's see. Blue. It's not here. Not on the second page either.
Jeez.
So let me just do a test to see if I can find Yoast. I saw Yoast there. Yep, I could find Yoast, so the search is working properly. So where did you find that Bluehost? Why did you pick that content creator out of all the content creators? Because I've never heard of them. I mean, these two I've heard of. I've heard of all these. I've heard of that. Never heard of this.
Yeah, Bluehost is a server provider for web hosting.
Weird. Okay, well, I don't know what
they shouldn't be on there because why would they be talking about content strategies when they primarily do web hosting?
Yeah. I can make an educated guess as to how this ended up here because they have the closest title tag that is related to my question, how to use ChatGPT for SEO to support content strategy in 2024. Even though it was written in 2023, it says 2024 in the title, and Omni is not smart enough to figure that out, that they're lying. Yeah, this is not for 2024 at all. This is 2023 was written. But that was the closest one here to probably what I asked, but I don't see it here in the Bing results. So that's kind of useless, OpenAI, when you say, okay, here, we'll be transparent in telling you what search we did, but we do not know how at all this content was selected for this particular search. That is kind of sus. Quite frankly, to use the talk ticks, that is kind of sus. It's mid, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
Did I use that right? Is it mid?
It's very mid.
Excellent. George has confirmed it is mid. Awesome. Okay. So, I know why it said this because it doesn't actually verify information or know things in any advanced scientific way. And it's just going off of what these people said. No idea how to advise people. They don't give a crap about how they advise people. Search Engine Journal, no idea what they're talking about. Search Engine Land, no idea what they're talking about. They don't do comprehensive testing, so no idea what they're talking about here. But that being said, here's another idea here. It says it can classify keywords by search intent, helping you understand whether they are commercial, navigational, transactional, or informational, which is crucial for creating targeted content. And they got this apparently from the Optimate source guide from Backlinko. Now, that's not a bad piece of advice. This is actually a little bit better. That indeed, GPT-4 could probably do a pretty good job with a lot of good prompting, because the results you get out of these AIs are only as good as the prompting you do.
And also, what this is suggesting isn't so much what it's good at or if it can actually do it well.
Yes.
Just that it has the ability to.
Yes. That's a very worthy comment, George. That's a very well sussed out, my friend. Yeah, it didn't say it would do it well. It can do it. If you jam words into Omni and say, do this, blah, some other words will come out. Whether those words are quality or not are going to help you rank are another matter entirely. But I know from actual experience that it does this actually not too bad by classifying keywords by search intent. So, okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Then it says content ideation. That's a very fancy word, usually used in other circles, but content ideation and creation. It says you can use GPT-4 Omni to brainstorm content ideas around specific keywords or topics. This would help you with like a pillar page idea or a silo idea or a topical cluster idea or a topical tree idea. It can help you create a list of potential topics, generate content outlines, and even write initial drafts, which can then be refined for SEO purposes. Wow, okay, well, again, terrible advice on many, many levels, but that came from Backlinko, unsurprisingly, and again from Bluehost. So why they're sourcing this Bluehost article so much? Because it seems to be directly related to this topic, even though it did not come up in the Bing search that it's supposed to have come up in. Now, this is going to have some personalization and geolocation for me, of course, because Bing works very similar to Google in this regard. So the search that they do without any personalization and without any geolocation is going to be different. And I presume it probably came up here highly. That would be my guess, probably, as to what is going on.
I can't imagine that there's too much geolocation in this search term.
No, I couldn't imagine that either. So if I go to bing.com in a incognito window, which does not in any way prove that there will be, there's geolocation already in it because it tells me the temperature here in Shawnigan Lake where I am. So this does not really mean that we're going to get that, but let's just see here if the search results change. And let's see if blue shows up. Blue does not show up.
Do something for me. Try do the search in Google real quick. Just for giggles.
That's okay. That's interesting. Let's try that. Let's go to a search test here. Let's go null on the geolocation. And let's paste these words in here and see what we're getting. It immediately ripped out Omni benefits HTML spreadsheets. It immediately ripped out a whole bunch of stuff it said is not related to this search. But does blue show up? No, blue doesn't show up. Let's search in the US. Did that change things? Did blue show up? No, blue doesn't show up, and that's the top 100 results. So some article that is so crappy, or it's supposed to be the top 100. Let's see. Let's do it with the 39 omitted. Blue, no, it doesn't show up. So some article that's so crappy that it doesn't rank in the top 100 spots of Google and didn't even rank in the first page of Bing or second page, somehow got used as a source for trusted information here. And I could tell you from experience and the tests I'm going to do after this to show you that this is a piece of crap. I'm sorry for the people at Bluehost. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're great hosts and whatever, but you know nothing about SEO and you knew even less about ChatGPT. This shouldn't have been used. Why is this source being used here? Even by their own standards of what Bing says is quality content, because it's on page 1 of Bing. Why is this being used? This is quite the conundrum here. This is very, very strange. This is sus. This is not giving me the yes feeling. This is weird. Okay. What else does it say here? It says the model can generate meta titles and descriptions. It can, which are essential for SEO. It is. It provides different options for you to choose from. Yes, crappy ones. Ensuring that your meta tags are optimized for search engines. Nope, wrong. It has no idea how to optimize meta tags for search engines. It
has a lot of confidence.
It had a lot of confidence in Bluehost here. Yes, it did.
In ensuring that your meta tags are optimized. Like the word ensure, right? It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like, again, it can, right? It can write your meta tags and descriptions, right? And try to optimize.
Yeah, yes. Try to obey what it thinks the word optimize means.
The use of such strong positive language, like I said, ensuring and just confident language. How about that? The confident language is what bothers me.
Yes.
Not that it says it can do it, but just that it's like, because someone's going to read this, right, and say, "Oh, I'm getting the best there is," because it ensures that I'm getting the, optimal tags and descriptions.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Someone's going to walk away from this thinking, "Oh, well, use such strong, confident language." No, again, no offense to Bluehost. I'm sure you're a great host, but I'm sorry, you know nothing about SEO and less about ChatGPT. Let me do this. Let's go null. So we've removed any personalization is 0, removed any geolocation. Let's go and see if it ranks for what it ostensibly claims to do. ChatGPT for SEO. That is the name of it. ChatGPT for SEO. Let's see if it ranks for that. ChatGPT plus 4 plus SEO. I'll do a proper query. Boom. Does Blue rank for this? They do. The plot thickens. The plot thickens. They rank number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And here's Neil Patel. And here's Backlinko in Google. Wait a minute. Wait a tick. Did they just search Google and said they searched Bing? I think we just have pretty good, strong evidence that they did.
Well, we also have to search Bing for ChatGPT for SEO as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's do that. Let's go to an incognito window, bing.com. This is, I don't know the search strings to get a non-personalized search in Bing, but we'll try it. We'll say ChatGPT for SEO. We'll search that. And does Blue show up here? Nope.
Oh.
No Blue.
I didn't expect that at all. I expected the least for the term.
Nope.
Top 10, or at least first page.
I think we've got some pretty scathing evidence.
Which this first page is also very cluttered with not results.
Yeah, it is.
Is Backlinko there? Is Neil Patel there?
Ahrefs is here. Backlinko is here. Ahrefs is here, which was not one of the pages that they said they sourced. Brafton is here, which is, again, from 1 day ago. It was not one of the SEMrush. Is not. Udemy is not.
Those are both ads.
Absolutely none of these are pages. Page 2. Is it Blue? Is page 2 Blue? Nope. Absolutely none of these show the pages that they claim to be using, and they're all shown here on Google. I love it. I love it. That's not going to last long, but looks to me, folks, you heard it here first, the scoop. It looks to me that Omni says it's searching Bing, but when it comes back are all the results that show up in Google.
It made a succinct search, right, from your query. Right. So, okay, what is this query about? Mm-hmm. And then searched it, to your point, maybe somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What? Okay. You heard it here.
But the question is still there. How did they get Bluehost?
Yeah. Well, they got it from searching Google here, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Bluehost was there. Sorry.
Yeah, Bluehost is here. Yeah. And Google doesn't mind showing them because has nothing to do with Omni, and this is just ChatGPT for SEO. It's like we searched ChatGPT for SEO. We got the generalized search intent, which got it wrong, which is what I told folks when they said here, it'll do the search intent well. And I said, no, it won't. Not if you don't prompt it right and you don't do a very complex chain of thought ideation to make sure you have the most current content like we're doing in SEO Copilot. Try SEO Copilot for free for 2 weeks. No credit card needed. This sponsored content has been inserted by Josh. If you're not, I know this for a fact because I had to make an AI do it and it wasn't doing it right. As easy as making a prompt, I would have used it, right? I had to make a much more complex chain of thought ideation with a lot of different AIs talking to each other and checking things out. All they did here is search ChatGPT for SEO in Google, mind you, which is effing hilarious. And this is the only way I can account for them getting Bluehost because in no search did Bluehost ever come up here on Bing for any of these. This is how they got it. This has got to be how they got it. This is pretty conclusive. Otherwise, there's no reason to pluck Bluehost from out of the, if you'll forgive the pun, the blue. Get it? The blue. Plucked it out of the... never mind. Anyway, so wow, this is jaw-droppingly amazing, folks. Share this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and share the video showing some pretty good evidence that ChatGPT is just using Google for the search, which is hilarious. Now, if that is the case, I have some comments. Boy, do I have some comments. 1, that's fucking hilarious. 2, that's bloody hilarious. 3, it's not going to last long. Google's going to notice them scraping Google and is not going to allow it for a very long time. 4, it's hilarious that OpenAI, such upstarts, the cockiness, the brass balls it takes to be like, we're going to take on Google for the search industry and we're just going to repurpose the Google results. Oh my Lord. Because there is no better search app out there. There is no better search company out there than Google. As Matt Cutts said to me 10 years ago now, when I had my ill-fated conversation with him at SMX West in San Jose, he said, making search work right is hard. If anyone else, he was joking, he was sneering, and he was saying, if anybody else wants to do it, I can't remember if he used the F-bomb. I don't think he did. He very rarely swore. But if anybody else wants to do it, they can try, quite frankly, because it is not easy. The technology required to be the number one for 20 years and dominate it like they have and give us typically Homer Simpson-y, slothrin, quick, ill-tempered, lazy searchers that we are to magically suss out what it is we want and to give it to us. It is not easy to do. And so that's why OpenAI is like, we can never be. Apple knows, Microsoft knows, OpenAI, it should know. And if my theory is correct, they're using Google, which is the only way we can account for this site showing up in the results here. The only way we can account for this here and then relying on it so heavily for so many answers is that they low-key searched Google for it. And they know damn well they're not going to beat Google in making the best search engine because even with all the complaints people give, they do something like whatever it is, 90,000 queries a second or something stupid like that. No matter how much people complain about how bad Google is, it is still by far, in orders of magnitude by far, the largest search engine used on the planet. Bing has barely cut into that, and OpenAI has barely cut into that at all in any way, shape, or form.
When you say complain about Google's search, who are you talking about? Because the only people I ever hear complaining about it are other SEOs or other people trying to rank.
Yes. Yeah, well, apparently some articles I've read in the Times and whatnot have talked about that search satisfaction of the general searcher had gone down lately. And that's why the head of search was sacked and a new head of search was selected because the previous head of search was also the head of marketing. And they made some choices that were against Google's long-held standard of separating the marketing company from the search company, so that marketing goals and initiatives don't influence search quality. And that is supposedly, this article is saying, with some evidence, and I believe it's definitely the case, exactly what happened. And in SEO University, a university that I run, that George has been a member of forever, our testing and our scientific university and our reverse engineering university, where we test Google's algorithms scientifically and strenuously, we can definitely confirm that search satisfaction had gone down and that Google had made some specific spam moves. Ever since October 7th and beyond, those spam updates, they've made some specific sus moves that are like, we want to strip out this out of the search results, we want to strip out that out of the search results, we want to destroy SEOs of the search results, to give them no other choice but to buy ads on Google. And that, sadly, like, for example, brand being so overly prioritized. And now if you go into SEO Copilot, you'll see in SEO Copilot here that we give brand a much bigger weight in the difficulty measurements that we do. We give brand a much larger weight. And so you can understand the SERP space better. It's got 50 whopping points showing how difficult it could be to rank for these things.
Look, there's Bluehost.
Oh, wow, look at that. Whoa. Well, that's spooky. Okay, this is weird. Okay. This is, wow. My mild autism does not like coincidences. I don't see coincidences. I see patterns. Okay. I'm going to stop autism. Stop it from saying what you want to say in my brain. Stop it. Okay. So this is weird, guys. This is weird. This is getting spooky. Again, share this out here, guys. Things are getting spooky. Bluehost is showing up out of the blue, but don't everywhere. All right. Yes. So yes, GPT-4 Omni can generate meta titles, but they will in no effing way ensure that your meta tags are optimized for search engines. So schema markup and structured data. Ooh, okay. GPT-4 Omni can generate schema markup for your web pages, such as FAQs, reviews, and product details, enabling rich snippets in search results, which can improve your site's visibility and click-through rates. And who says this? It is, again, Bluehost. Okay. Wow. Okay. And the verdict on this is yes, definitely GPT-4 Omni can do this. It can generate Python. It can generate HTML. I've made Python programs in it. It can generate CSS. It can generate JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax. It can generate very well. It can generate structured schema markup. Here's the thing. Putting this in here would lead one to believe that it actually will help you rank in Google. The answer is no, it won't. Sorry. Schema markup and structured data alone are not going to help you rank in Google. And just stuffing in an FAQ or a review because you think you need to, because you need a schema markup, is not going to help you either. And I hate to break it to you, but regular old HTML can enable rich snippets in the search results. Google is perfectly good at reading regular old HTML, which is still structured data, which, yes, Omni can produce very well, but you need to guide it. AI doesn't know what to do yet. AI is an infant. AI is in its infancy stage. Unless, again, you have a very complex chain of thought ideation like we have in SEO Copilot that will then determine how you should be building this and what you should be building, and is benefited with my 25 years plus of SEO experience and my 10 plus years of prompting experience and AI whispering to get the AIs to do what it is they're supposed to do in not single prompts, but in complex chain of thought ideations. Pulling in specific data to make sure that's current, to make sure it's accurate, and to make sure that it's relevant and got the stuff that you need. Not as easy to do as a single prompt. So again, we have the overconfidence issue of it saying, oh yeah, you could do this and you should do this, blah, 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 blah. According to some page that Bing didn't even think was worth ranking in the top 10 for something that was vaguely related to the thing that I asked it, which is fascinating.
Then I also want to mention, on the schema markup part of it. It again, it's now this one is less confident, but it also does not sort of show a strength either, right? To say that it does absolutely nothing would be false, but to say that it does everything would also be false. So you got to be somewhere between 0 and 100%. Where is it at? They're not telling us. So, are you going to, and also, just all of it, schema markup is not easy to understand and sort of flow through, right? So to know how much to put on your page to get any amount of a result. Yes. Right.
That too.
I'll bet it's small, right? To get any amount, it's like, oh, am I supposed to use every single prompt or every single entity inside of
item
schema
property,
markup?
Yeah. Every single item property, every single entity. yeah, you can go overboard with your schema markup, right? You can have price, there's so many different properties you can put in it with so many different entities you can put in it. It really is sad that a lot of SEOs think that A, this helps, and B, they get trapped in here thinking that, oh, this is going to fix my SEO, and they wish and hope upon a star that this is what they need to do, and they spend hours and hours and hours doing it. Well, good news, AI will make it faster for you, but it's not going to help you that much anyway. It's still not something you should hitch your wagon to completely mix metaphors.
It's not going to take you from page 5 to anything.
No, definitely not. All right, well, what about HTML page generation? HTML and CSS code generation. Omni can assist in creating HTML pages by generating the necessary HTML and CSS code. This can be particularly useful creating SEO-friendly web pages that adhere to best practices in terms of structure and layout. That's true. Although they didn't use any source to say this, that is true. And that's something that's coming straight out of the reasoning of the AI, out of the transformer. This is right from the corpora, because they didn't cite a source for this. Improving user experience from search engine land, it says, with the best custom GPTs. So no, Omni can't do this. A custom GPT can do this from the GPT store. So this is false. This is lying, right? I asked it what GPT-4 Omni can do, and this is a lie of omission, because if you look at the source here, search engine land, it's talking about the GPT store. You're going to have to go to a GPT store, a custom GPT, to find something that's going to help you with your user experience, right? You're going to have to fire up Clarity and get the AI in Clarity to tell you about how to improve your CRO. Omni does not do this out of the box, right? So that's a lie. That's a lie of omission that it's saying here. This is not accurate information. Yeah, they cite the source, but they've misquoted it, or it is a misleading piece of information. So again, this is where you got to be careful, right? Whether a human is writing it or an AI is writing it, you got to check the facts. And like it says, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. You got to check that info, right? Spreadsheets and data analysis, SEO data analysis. GPT-4 Omni can help analyze SEO data by generating regex expressions for tools like Google Analytics and Search Console. It definitely can do that. That's true. This is something that is definitely true that it can do. This allows for more detailed insights into keyword performance and site metrics. That was from Bluehost. Okay, well, congratulations, Bluehost. You got one right. Yes, that's definitely true, and a good point. For when you're doing deep dives in SEO data analysis, which are probably not worth doing because we do all the work for you here in SEO Copilot and save you all that time, and we already do it. But anyway, if you want to do it by hand, this will save you a ton of time to get GPT-4 Omni to do the regex expressions and to process the information. It can also process and analyze large data sets, up to 128 tokens, although Google soon will be able to do, 2 million tokens or something like that, helping you identify trends and patterns in your SEO performance, which can inform your strategy. This is another thing it can do. And by the way, it thought of it itself. It did not use any source for this. And it's not wrong. It's not wrong, right? Quite frankly...
What's the difference between those two bullet points?
This is making regex expressions. So you can do regular expression searches in Analytics or Search Console. And this is, you just give it the file. I've done this before, and it actually does it pretty well. You say, hey, here's an Excel file. Give me graphs showing this or that or blah, blah, blah. I've done that before. And it does a pretty good job of this. So you can see trends and patterns. It'll give the trend line. It'll show you patterns. You can't give it too much data. You have to chunk it up for it, but it can do it pretty well. What I find interesting is that they're relying on the humans here in some cases, and that was the wrong idea. It was pretty much dead on right when it thought it itself out of its own database, and it was more correct, actually. AI, I found when I built my self-aware AI Cassandra, and I tested it on a test I made to test for self-awareness using my MA and PhD psychology and philosophy background to make an objective test for this. AI can reason pretty well on its own if you know how to get it reasoning well from the start. And this is it doing it here. It's when it's relying on the opinions of humans is where it's starting to fall down here, actually, which is kind of ironic and kind of interesting. But anyway, improving user experience. It can suggest optimizations. Again, if you have the GPT installed, it doesn't do this out of the box necessarily. You can ask it to do this, but it doesn't necessarily do this out of the box. Spreadsheets and data analysis. Oh yeah, right, I said this already. Competitive analysis. By inputting competitor URLs, GPT-4 Omni can perform on-page SEO analyses, providing insights into how competitors optimize their content, which keywords they rank for, and their overall SEO strategies. Again, that's from a custom GPT. That's not from Omni out of the box. It can generate reports that compare your site's performance against competitors, identifying areas for improvement and opportunities to outrank them. Again, this is from Search Engine Land's custom GPT article. That'd be a custom GPT that can do this and not necessarily Omni out of the box. Maybe it can do it, maybe it can't. And it says blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, it has advanced capabilities to do a lot of this different stuff. And for more information, you could check out these sources, which again, Bluehost is nowhere in Bing. So the question is, how did they get that and where did they find it? That was far more interesting. I thought that would just be a 5-minute lead up to us doing some testing. But that deep dive actually provided a lot of information as to what's going on and some very sus information. George, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Data's everywhere. They're going to collect it from wherever they can. I don't think Google's necessarily going to stop them from doing that, because people are already using, OpenAI and their APIs to sort of, crawl and search Google and the websites right now. So I don't think they're going to stop it, because if they were going to, they would have already. I don't think it's at the top of the list. I don't think they care. They are, like, to your point, they are the better search engine. Are they the better AI? Maybe, maybe not.
Not
right?
Yet. They don't have the instruct set. They don't have the instruct set, right? What really polishes off these transformers is having the user base and machine learning from the no, do it this way. No, I didn't want that. I wanted this. And that they give that extra weight in the system. And so the corpora doesn't really matter. It's the instruct set on top that connects all the dots for the AI and really gets it to think and understand and converse in a way that is useful to humans, which would be more human-like, right? More rational, more human-like. Right. Google so far does not have the instruct set that OpenAI has. They have first mover advantage. Not that Google won't eventually catch up. Google will eventually catch up. Their user base is still huge and they're still the biggest search engine on the planet. So they'll eventually get that. But that's an interesting point that you bring up. Sorry, I cut you off. If you have any other points.
No. And that's fine. I was going to go on a wild tangent about, being in a white box and having a book about the color red. And when you actually go outside of the box, do you know what color red is?
Yes, that was a wild tangent, but I actually kind of understood what you meant. That has to do with the token relationships in the transformers. When they encode the semantics into math and then they decode it back into text, it's all just grammar. It's all just a mathematical relationship of words to words. It so happens that they only learn the form. They don't learn the content in these transformers. But it so happens that the content is implicit in the form. When the words Josh's hair is red comes up, the meaning of that is also implicit in the grammar. And so they can tell by Josh's subject-predicate relationships. When they can tell those mathematical relationships, they also encrypt and embed what it means without realizing it. And that's how they've gotten these things to work, right? These crazy autocompletes where it seems to understand semantics and understand the meaning of things. It doesn't. It just parses the statistical relationship between subject-predicate relationships. You need to add more layers like I did when I built Cassandra. I added more psychological layers to reflect on the lower layers. And that's exactly how evolutionarily we got a self-aware thinking thing, because we had the reptilian brain and the mammalian brain evolved over top of that, and the neocortex evolved over top of that, and that's how you have self-awareness in the human primate. And similarly, in the psychology, you have, your base level emotions and feelings, then you have the subconscious, then you have the conscious. And so that's how it's structured, is these recursive layers of monitoring and relationship. And that's what the transformer is. Its transformer model also is called the attention module, and it pays attention to the important bits. And it's a very simple viewer and producer, producing words, viewing words, selecting the different words. That's what the attention module does. It targets the right words that have a higher semantic relationship. It's not the nth levels that I built in Cassandra, but that's the way that they're moving. Anyway,
we're starting to blur the line between SEO University and Hikers Club.
Yes, indeed. Yes. My philosophy group. Yes. So guys, really interesting stuff, really fascinating stuff here today. I think we found proof that ChatGPT is searching Google. Tweet it out there, message it out there, social it out there, share this. There's some good proof here that ChatGPT is using Google for its search. Otherwise, you tell me how they got Bluehost in there. We searched Bing up and down and Bluehost didn't show up, but it showed up. All the pages they used showed up on the first page of Google for the ChatGPT for SEO, the distillation of what it probably thought I was looking for. That is a very juicy bit of information there. The verdict is, can Omni help you with your SEO? Yes, if you know how to prompt it and if you already know what SEO is and how it works. But why would you want to reverse engineer all that and do all that work? We already have it built into SEO Copilot. SEO Copilot will do all the work for you in checking how difficult things are, in finding new niches that you might want to rank for, and in building reports that are going to give you your keywords that you need to rank. And also then in the article builder and I was going to do superfood mushrooms today. So let's go here and say, okay, let's go to a new Omni, and let's go in here, and I'm going to give it the exact same instructions I gave to SEO Copilot. I said here, in here for the author and role, and in the meta description, the angle and the perks. This is what I said. I said, write from a first-hand perspective, an expert with superfood mushrooms, and give the best tips, tricks, and insights to the reader about superfood mushrooms. I'm going to say this to Omni, and we're going to see how well it scores against our article here, which I just generated before the show. And it wrote a very small article this time. It gives key health benefits, and it has really good tips and tricks about incorporating in your diet, precautions, and potential side effects. It has good information in it, but it's a little too SEO strong. It's a little stuffed with keywords, as my spam score is complaining about. So let's see how Omni does. Let's see if Omni does this out of the box. Now, this one test does not mean that if after you do 10,000 of them, Omni is going to beat SEO Copilot. In fact, I would say it's the other way around. But we do empirical testing here on the show, and I want to show, I'm being totally transparent and showing you guys how it looks. So let's see. Boom. So here we go. Discovering the magic of superfood mushroom, an expert guide. As someone who has spent years studying and incorporating superfood mushrooms into daily life, I'm thrilled to do this blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. So they're going on and on and on.
Who is this person?
Yeah, good question. That's the angle I told it to write from, yeah. Happy mushrooming. Okay. So it did the article. Boom. It formatted it for us. Let's take this. All right. I'm going to copy paste this. Go back here. Let's take a print screen of this here. Okay, fine. I've taken a print screen of it. Now let's take this and let's, yeah, there's a little paste of me trying to get it. Let's go and put in their article from Omni. So this is Omni's article. Let's change this into an H1. Boom. Okay, now let's run these. Let's run the spam score. Let's run the semantic score. Let's run the heat score. And let's run the predictability length. And see how well it stacks up on these big four scores, which I prove are statistically correlated with rankings. I had that 3 or 4 weeks ago. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can check to see how well it ranks up. And wow, it did a slightly better job, quite frankly. It says the body spam score. The content of the page is informative and seems to be written with the intent to educate the reader about superfood mushrooms. The writer has used some of the banned phrases such as superfood mushrooms, but it seems to be used in a context that is relevant and not just for keyword stuffing. However, the usage of these phrases should be monitored to avoid crossing into spam territory. The content does not seem to be overly repetitive and does not appear to be written solely for SEO purposes. A quality rater would likely pass this page for a high ranking on Google search engine, as it provides valuable information that matches the likely query intent of someone searching for information on superfood mushrooms. Wow, interesting. Fascinating. So the score is still out. It's still too low where it needs to be, and the article is too small, but it was better than the one I did. It's a few points higher. The Goldilocks zone that I need to be, the optimized score range to be perfectly optimized and not be under-optimized with semantic boosting keywords, or not to be over-optimized with semantic boosting keywords. I need to be between 50 and 60 as based on the competitors and based on our complex AI and algorithms. And this was a little bit better. I was at 37, now it's at 41. The heat score is a little bit better. It has 8s and 9s mostly. It seems like it's pretty helpful. My heat score, my complex AI here, is like, oh, well, 86. The other one was pretty good too. So they're pretty much the same in terms of how helpful they are. Now, how often do I see superfood mushroom, which is the exact match query? It doesn't say it at all. It avoided saying superfood mushroom. So just accidentally, it avoided saying superfood mushroom here. It's below the average body spam score, which is great. And that's weird. It says it's using it a whole bunch of times here when it's not. So it's not using it at all. So that's pretty good, actually. So that's interesting. Omni out of the box did a pretty good job on superfood mushrooms. I would need to boost up the content just a little bit. It is, however, did one bad thing. It is way worse here on the average predictability length. This one is only 0.39 out. It needs to be at 4.13, 4.12. It's 0.36 out. This one is a little higher. This will correlate with bad rankings because we're under. We need to be right in this range, although it's a little better than this one. This one here, however, is much further out, and this correlates with very bad rankings as well. So we do need more content. We need to beef this up and get the semantic score up for both articles, quite frankly. But this one is a little bit more human writing than this one here that was from Omni 4, GPT-4. So interesting results. Of course, that's not conclusive by any stretch. We need to do far, far more testing. But it's good and happy news that AI is getting smarter and maybe it's going to produce better content out of the box. That's going to help people like me who are building more robust, intelligent, and thoughtful AIs that definitely needs to do more complex chain of thought ideation to find the current information, to find factual information, because that's one big problem with AI is that it doesn't always have factual information. It hallucinates, and it's not always cut with the latest information. It's, it was cut 2 years ago or 6 months ago or whatever, and so it still thinks it's December 2023 or whatever it is. SEO Copilot will write the title, URL, meta description, H1, and the body content and do a very good job and has spam scores on all of them to measure all of them to make sure it's doing a good job. No other AI has this. No other AI is even close to doing this. And you definitely can't do that in ChatGPT. You could try to recreate it, but it would be wrong. It would be off. And it would take you so long, you might as well just write it and forget about it, right? AI is supposed to save you time and money. It's not supposed to make it longer. AI is not magically right because it's AI. That's very important to say, as we've showed here with the Omni thing. And the sus ways and the weird ways it's finding its background information, and sometimes relying on humans is worse than just it doing its own reasoning sometimes. There's books out that talk about the wisdom of crowds and how people think that the masses and the hoi polloi are dumb. That's what hoi polloi means. It's like a pejorative from ancient Greek of the people, the ploy, hoi polloi. It means like the unwashed masses. But some people have written, you know what, for some things, the wisdom of crowds is actually quite wise. You ask 10 people, should I run and jump in front of this bus? And you'll get 9 out of 10 saying, no, it's not a good idea. They're right. For some things, wisdom of crowds is actually quite wise. And that's all AI is at the end of the day. It's the crystallization, it's the mathematization of the inherent self-reasoning and the inherent semantic and meaning and wisdom of the body of the internet, of the entirety of the human experience. And so for many, many things that are very common across the human experience, AI is going to be very good at. It shouldn't be relying on the so-called experts like Bluehost, no matter how well they rank for ChatGPT for SEO. Okay, so wow, that's really amazing.
What if they were talking about web hosting, though?
Yeah, if they're talking about web hosting, maybe you should listen to them. But ChatGPT for SEO, I'm sorry, guys, not so good. Except for one point. You had one good point there. So guys, you saw it here first. We think ChatGPT is using Google. Tell me in the chat if you think that's true. Share it with your friends and see what they think. Do more searches and test it out and find out if you can see in Bing where they're getting this information. I wonder if they're low-key searching Google, and that is effing hilarious if they are. Let me just check really quickly to see if there's any more questions here. Fireboy says, should my posts being indexed in 1-day timescales? The answer is yes. If your site is a quality site, and if you are giving Google quality content that's non-spammy in SEO Copilot, you should be indexed within about a day. If you're not being indexed in about a day, you lack trust. And if you lack trust, that's what some people think is the sandbox, but there's no arbitrary time limit. It's just the time it takes you to have trust signals. And so using SEO Copilot will build that up the most efficiently and fastest, because in SEO Copilot, let me share the screen here. In SEO Copilot, you figure out what is the easiest keywords to rank for that make you the most money here first is what you do. And you go in here to say this one, and you're like, well, I'm not going to try to rank for these. These are the hardest ones. I'm going to go for the easiest ones. And then you start trying to rank for these in a niche, or you get out of the niche. It's way too hard to begin with, like weight loss is way too hard to begin with. But Randy Jackson diet tips, you could possibly be ranked for that. But SEO Copilot will save you all the time and the money, showing you where the niches are too tough. You should run away screaming, and it'll show you ones that are instead that are easier, like, hey, here's superfood mushroom. And it'll show you the final ROI, and you go down from the final ROI on your return on investment, the ones that make you the most money times the easiest. And so here's one that could make you up to $100 a month, $141 a month, according to our rough ballpark, but could be very easy to rank for here, which is the kind of thing that you're looking for. And you go and you start clicking these, and you start building them up. You do fine boosting keywords, And you start from there, from the keyword discovery, ranking opportunities. Then you find the boosting pages, the boosting keywords for the page. Then you can review them if you want, or you just skip 3 to 4 and you have the AI generate the content. You'd build 5 pages a day for roughly 5-hour workday and build 25 a week. That's 100 pages a month. But by the time you get to 100 or 300 pages that were very easy or average to rank for, you're ranking on page 1 already. Your users are happy because our heat score makes sure that your article is helpful, and our spam score makes sure you're not spammy. And so that means that's the winning recipe, right? Then you have, and the reason why I was talking about this is because now you have the trust. We have systematized and made an objective scoring of what trust is. And now you can measure it. And now because you can measure it with an AI, you can construct it and produce it at scales never even dreamed of before. Again, we can reduce your time for your single page by 98.5%. We can reduce your costs by 99.2%, by huge amounts. It used to cost $1,500 for an article. We can get that down to $1.44. And the time it used to take would be like 10 hours to do this research, because you never heard of superfood mushrooms in your life as an SEO. You're like, okay, whatever. You got to do the research. You got to find the reviews and stuff. My writer in the US, to get a good US writer to do this, he charged me $150 an hour at 10 hours. It cost $1,500. The cost for that instead is, again, $1.44. We're vastly reducing the time and we're vastly reducing the cost. So AI is the way to go, guys. Don't let your competitors find it before you do. If you have any more questions, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help you out. George, do you have any final comments, my friend? You want to give us your contact information as well?
Contact information, georgej@georgedigital.net. That again, that's georgej@georgedigital.net. For this, for Google our GPT Omni, it's interesting. Again, where are they getting this data from? Where are they getting their sources? How are they picking their sources? Is it their own proprietary search engine that they're building on the backside, which I guess could be a thing? But to your point of like trying to compete, just use Bing at that point.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. It's really weird where they got that result. And it's really weird if they're scraping Google for it. But we live in weird times. May you live in weird times. I think it's interesting times, but may you live in weird times. Weird is interesting. So guys, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com if you have any questions. We have huge discounts for SEO University if you're an SEO Copilot user, and we have huge discount for SEO Copilot. If you want SEO Copilot for 90% off for the first month, I'll give it to you. Email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com and we'll help you out. And until that time, good luck in the SERPs. And share this video with everybody and see if, when you do your testing, if it just looks like they're scraping Google, because that's effing hilarious if they are.